Linda Brookhart with the State University's Annuitants Association. Thanks for joining us. And as we stand here on the afternoon of March the 6th, you've just put out a press release announcing that you are suing members of the state relative to the pension bill that passed last spring. Tell us, why are you taking this action?
We took this action because we represent the individuals who are part of the State University's retirement system. And we have, there are 56,812 benefit recipients, and there are 87,630 active members. And the Senate Bill 1, Public Act 98, 599 is very detrimental to their livelihood, I would say.
Have you run any numbers? I don't mean to trip you up, but have you run any numbers? Do you know to what extent an average person's pension would be cut by the bill?
At least a quarter.
A quarter of the annually?
Yes.
And so again, this would pertain relative to your suit to the SURS, which is the State University Retirement System.
Yes.
And you mentioned in the filing that you name a number of individuals, such as the state treasurer and the state comptroller and the governor. What is it that your hope is, and what are the grounds of your bringing this suit?
Well, first of all, we looked at that there's three constitutional provisions in there that are being violated, and we're also looking at the fact that we all believe that there will be a lot of people who will find themselves in financial circumstances that they had not planned for. They were made a promise, there was contracts, and we think that they should be upheld. And we will continue to believe that until a court tells us otherwise.
And as a reminder to the viewers, there's a provision in the state constitution that says state pensions may not be diminished.
Yes.
And I'm sure you're alleging by this cut that they are being diminished.
Yes.
Right?
And their health insurance has been diminished for the universities, people who are considered state employees. So we keep compounding these things, and pretty soon there will be a huge bite taken out of any of the benefits that the state workers, current employees were counting on. And like I said, this also goes after the retirees, which we truly believe cannot be diminished.
Now, I should say the cut in the pension bill was a special session that was December 3rd, if I remember the actual date. So you brought this suit. When the bill came up, had you intended, if it were to pass, as it did in December, has your organization already decided that you would bring suit, or at what point was this decided?
We definitely decided that we would bring suit. The decision was whether we would join in with other suits. But we also looked at the fact that SURS really does have a lot of in our parts to it that the other pension systems don't have. For instance, there's a choice of 3 different pension plans that they can make a choice from. They have to sign a contract in order to be under those. You can never change once you make that election. And then there's the earned rate of interest, which will be, pretty much diminished. Right now they're going on 7%. It can be diminished down to 3% because it will be determined on the U.S. Treasury bonds plus a 0.75% added on yearly. That can change, but already they're taking a hit on that. And there's a number of people who that, like I said, that truly hits.
And I would say now you have in your press release, it's not just the Constitution of Illinois as far as diminishing the pensions, but you also mentioned that violates the takings clause of the Constitution, which forbids the taking of private property for public use without just compensation, and that it violates the contract clause, which forbids the state to breach contracts that it makes. So I think you would be alleging that your retirees worked based upon what they took to be a contractual commitment from the state, and now that the state is going back and reneging on it. Is that more or less the...
Absolutely.
When you filed it, you filed it in Champaign County. Why there?
Well, first of all, because there's a community college there, there's a university there, which is, as everyone names, the mothership of the universities. Whether that still stands, it's still as significant. It's the main university employer in the state of Illinois and serves the system itself is there. And I think if anybody would take a look at what would happen if these three entities were no longer viable in Champaign.
And then lastly, since this has passed, I presume that you've probably heard from a number of your members, again, which are retirees. What are you hearing from them when they call, and what kind of expressions of concern are they giving you?
I think that first, some of the higher paid ones will not, they'll be hurt by a loss of income, but they won't be hurt near as much as some of those lower paid individuals or those lower earning individuals. And I think the other thing that we hear from those that are currently working is that it's a very short time to make a decision on whether to stay working or whether to retire, and there will be a significant hurt, we believe, to higher or significant damage done to higher education if a tremendous number of people decide to leave.
So if they are to leave by a certain date, they would not have the cuts, is that right?
They would not be affected by the ERI.
And by what date would they have to leave? Is it the end of this fiscal year?
It would be by the end of June 30th. June 30th, absolutely.
All right. Well, thank you so much for joining us.